Very special guest, Knox County Mayor right here in the great state of Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane. And of course, this is in response, Mayor Jacobs. We're going to play real quick the clip here that came out from the Gavin Newsom podcast of Tim Walz. Made quite an interesting statement referencing the WWE and all of that. And of course, you had some words of response.
This notion of respect is something that keeps coming back to me. People that just feel like we don't respect this notion of
it.
This notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think if they wanted to. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
Sounds like maybe Mayor Jacobs' challenge accepted, but you hear this kind of verbiage, and it usually is coming from the left. It feels like it's always going to violence. And we're also talking about the Tesla situation as well, as the FBI is now getting involved. But when you hear those kind of words, again, it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, it's absolutely ridiculous. I can't help but laughing to think of Tim Walz and that statement. Obviously, he's not serious because between he and Gavin Newsom, they have an ounce of testosterone among them. But nevertheless, but you're exactly right. Unfortunately, the left they're the purveyors of violence in this country, and when they don't get their way through whatever methods at the ballot box or through public opinion, they resort to violence, as we're seeing with the attacks on Tesla cars and Tesla vehicles. And it is absolutely absurd. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it's almost as absurd and ridiculous as a faux tough guy like Tim Walz acting like he is an actual tough guy.
You've had some very fun posts on your X account regarding this. I love the Tim Tennessee Walz image that you had of him in a wrestling ring. But it is a humorous thing because of how absurd it seems that he would say, I'm going to fight people like he's a schoolyard bully or something when he's a grown adult who was the candidate for vice president of the United States. But I think, once again, the problem here is that he immediately goes to fighting words when that's not even what Gavin Newsom was talking about, to Gavin Newsom's somehow credit in that. But when you look at even the way that conservatives protest things they don't like from big corporations or things, what do? They just stop buying the product. They let the market sort it out. But the left seems to only have one way to deal with this. We saw this in 2020 with the takeovers of American cities by violent protest and riots. And here you're seeing it again, the same playbook. How do we on the right combat that when we don't resort to violence?
You're exactly right. In this situation, it is humorous, and I've been making fun of it, but at its core, there is a deeper issue. Politically, the Democrats are trying to position themselves as tougher folks, right? Stronger people, because I think they realize that the effeminate males and just the weakness that they have portrayed have not paid off for them. I mean, you see guys like Donald Trump now in the White House, and a lot of the reason for that, I believe, is because he is a strong individual that people would look to as a leader. So I think a lot of that with what Walz says is the memo, right? That we have to appear stronger and we have to be able to match up to the Republicans and conservatives when it is not only masculine men, but also strong women. I think the way that you combat that is we just keep on doing what we're doing. Ultimately, I think when the average person out there sees what's happening, for instance, with Tesla, and the fact that for no reason, virtually, they're being attacked, that is not going to play well. So it's one of those situations where we just have to not be intimidated and just keep on doing our thing. And eventually it's going to basically backfire on the Democrats and the far left.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things, Mayor Jacobs, when I look at all of this, is it feels like they're split. There's a playbook here that they're going by, as you said, where it's like, okay, we need to now show that we're strong, that we're able to do this because we know that's what took us down. But on the other hand, you then even have them going after Chuck Schumer, their own guy, because he just, how dare he actually try to work something out with Republicans. Now, you are in a pretty diverse area in Knox County, Tennessee. You have a lot of Republicans, clearly, but also quite a bit of Democrats. You have figured out how to be a unifying force within our own state and within that specific county in an area that very well could go either way. But why can't they do that in Washington, D.C.? And why does it always have to be now this weird attack where it has to show that, you know, like you said, they got to be a tough guy. They got to be big and strong. And it's not done. It doesn't feel like it's done from a place of, let's say, comedy.
No, it's not coming from a place of comedy. It's coming from a place of intimidation and just political power. And ultimately, that's what it is. It's the lust for political power. As you said, in Knox County, we're overwhelmingly a conservative community. But we do have some Democrats there. We have some on our county commission, but they're not crazy far-left people. They're actually concerned about the welfare of the people of Knox County. I don't agree with them on everything, but they would never do things like this, right? So I think that it's that far-left influence, especially in the far left strongholds like Portland, Oregon, like many of these other liberal areas where there's no check on what they do. And again, ultimately it might be fine in those areas what they're doing as far as the public perception, but in other areas like Knox County, Tennessee, and Tennessee in general, we're just looking at this shaking our heads.
Mayor Jacobs, it's been great to have you on our show today, and hopefully this can become a regular thing because I really appreciate all you've done for a long time for our state and, of course, for entertaining all of us. There was one person who was maybe a little bit more vocal. You know, Glenn Jacobs, he put out some good statements saying, you know, putting up some funny memes. But then there's another guy, and that, of course, is the big red machine, Kane, and he posted, "Everyone's always asking me if I have one last match left, and I think I found my final opponent." So you know what, Mayor Jacobs, there are some people you don't want to make mad, and I will tell you, I think I know one of them.
Well, even coming from my friend Kane, that was somewhat tongue-in-cheek because I don't think Tim Walz is ever going to get in a ring with the Big Red Machine.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayor Jacobs, for joining us. And again, you're welcome to come back anytime. We'd love to have you. Will, that was pretty cool. That
was a top moment for us here, I think. That was really, really cool.
We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned to provide you with the best tools available to partner with us at the ACLJ. You can watch the daily Seculo program, sign the petitions, customize your ACLJ membership experience, donate with the click of a button, and receive up-to-the-minute critical updates that the mainstream media can't censor. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to your phone's app store, search ACLJ, and click install. It's that simple.